Show me more.
Hello and welcome to I've Seen Everything, where the name is ironic and the reactions are... Hi everyone, my name's Andrew and welcome to yet another movie reaction, and this one is a special one. This one is a favorite one. Haven't done a favorite in a little while out here, but I've wanted to do this one for a long time, and we have a reason. Oscars are coming up, and I want Sinners to win everything. I am totally biased when it comes to this movie. Not to say there's not a lot of other great movies out there, but I love this movie. I've only seen this movie one time. I have seen it, but I saw it in the theater when it was out. This is one of the best movies I've seen in quite a while. I am somebody who has watched a lot of vampire movies, a lot of horror movies, and for those of you who have watched this, which I'm assuming is all of you that are here with me, you know what I'm saying as well. This is so much more than a horror movie. This movie was a moment in entertainment this past year that I think is even bigger than this past year. It's one of these things that comes around every once in a great while. It's something that transcends even the genre that it was operating in. It's just a movie that is so artistically unique and beautiful and so well done. Every part of what they're trying to do is so well accomplished that it just almost sets itself apart from comparison. I remember when this movie first came out, seeing people trying to make comparisons to From Dusk Till Dawn, a famous kind of fun Robert Rodriguez horror vampire movie. And I can see a little bit of a comparison there as far as the structure, but as far as the overall movie and the story being told and the power of the story and the way they set up their characters and all that kind of stuff, Sinners is an entirely different class as far as I'm concerned. So that's why I'm here to do this today. Why? Because I feel like it. That's why. I love this movie. I've only seen it once. I want to watch it again here with you before we get to the Oscars, and hopefully Sinners wins everything. Fingers crossed. And that is the whole reason we're here today. So let's not waste any more time getting to it. Before we do, though, I want to make sure to invite you to go ahead and check out the Patreon. The full-length reaction to this movie is available over on the Patreon right now. There's full-length reactions to other movies over there, exclusive television show reactions, all kinds of stuff. I hope you'll go check it out and consider becoming a patron. Any support that you offer over there or over here is always greatly appreciated. And speaking of over here, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, click the bell so you can see when I'm putting out new videos. And that is it, folks. Let's not waste any more time. Let us get to watching 2025's Sinners. Here we go.
Making music so true, it can pierce the veil, conjuring spirits from the past and the future.
I didn't remember that. I didn't remember that we had a precursor to that where we heard this, like legend.
This gift can bring healing to their communities, but it also attracts evil.
Oh, that's so cool. I totally forgot that whole lead-in. Like, that was Annie, obviously. I didn't know that we heard Annie at the beginning give that lore drop of what this is. But I also didn't know the connection to it attracting evil. Yeah, this was such a way to start this too. We don't know who Sammy is at all yet. And we just know this kid pulls up in a car and he looks like he has been through it.
My son has felt the call of sin.
It never occurred to me before how odd this is. This is his father.
I want you to swear to me and before this congregation to leave those sinning ways where they lie. I want you to promise right now.
Does he know where he was? And also, this is your son. Why is this your concern? Your son is injured. Like, my first instinct as a father would be like, are you okay? What can we do?
Tell me what you plan on. I have to hear it through the grapevine.
You have a good one, Beatrice.
Guess the grapevine it is.
Yeah, he being sneaky about it. So I guess that answers that question. They know that he's going off to play somewhere. They just didn't know where.
You hardwood?
You boys twins?
Nah, we cousins.
I mean, ask a dumb question. You're going to get an answer like that. You're lucky it was that nice.
What are you fellas planning on doing with the place?
Your damn business what they're going to do with the place. They got money.
More time I spend with y'all, the less sure I am you boys are serious about it.
Ain't no boys here. I just grown men with grown men money and grown men bullets.
I love their characters. I love how they don't back down for a second. They know where they are. They know how serious things are. And they don't give any of these people an inch, and they shouldn't.
The mill, the equipment, and the land that it's standing on.
Damn!
Now understand, it's the last dime you ever gonna see from us.
Hey, man, they made everything clear right up front. You can't fault them for anything there. You can't say you didn't understand.
And if we see you or any one of your clan buddies,
Clan don't exist no more.
And the Klan doesn't exist anymore. This is the South. I think it said in the 30s.
Finish my quota for the day.
He took his guitar so he'd have to come see him.
I want you to help me give my sermon tomorrow. 1 Corinthians 10:13.
This is one of these situations, too, where you have a father who thinks he's doing what's best for his son, but by completely subverting who his son is and what he wants.
Where you got to be that's more important than being in the house of God?
You got some music to play. That's what he worships.
Want to be free of all this for a day.
To play music for drunkards?
I'll be back in town for service in the morning.
You keep dancing with the devil. One day it's going to follow you home.
You know, I know we'd like for all this to feel like warning, but I don't know how parents don't understand that if they push their kids that much like that, they're just going to push them away.
oh, don't you worry now, Uncle Jed. We're gonna get them back to you in one piece.
That is some foreshadowing there.
So tell me about Chicago. I heard they ain't got Jim Crow up there. Black man can go where he wants.
Chicago ain't from Mississippi with tall buildings instead of plantation.
Yeah, I was going to say, they might not have officially have Jim Crow up there, but things still aren't great. They find their ways. Ooh, nice shot. I forgot the snake. All kinds of symbolism.
I'm thinking we just set up tonight. Open up next weekend. Nah, that. It's gotta be tonight. Grand opening. Start the with a bang. Or we start with a misfire. We've been going a long time, Stack. 7 years ain't long enough to forget about us.
He did such an incredible job here. I mean, we're just getting into it, but this is why Michael B. Jordan, I think, deserves to win. You just look at how incredible job he did creating these two different characters, very distinctly different characters. They feel completely different. They have their own vibe to them, their own history. Again, scenes like this, just setting the scene of what this is, what this place is, what the whole vibe of how it works is. There are lots of movies like this that would skip over this part. Incredibly important to do this.
And I'm gonna pay you 10 cents for every minute that I'm gone.
Yes, sir.
No, ma'am, you gotta negotiate. 10 cents just won't work for you.
50 cents.
20 cents. We got a deal?
That's sweet. He's trying to teach her how to negotiate, trying to teach her how this works, having her learn something that's going to be valuable to her going forward, I'm sure. But even 10 cents. I was looking at the prices on the window back there. Breakfast with like ham and eggs was 25 cents. Uh-oh. I remember this part. He wasn't wrong to have someone watching out for him. Ooh.
Smoke.
Terry, where you been?
I was doing better before you shot me in the
Why the hell you trying to boost my truck?
It's your truck.
It's not even that he was trying to boost the truck. It's that, oh, it was your truck. And she told him.
Y'all scoot on out the street. Put some pressure on.
Get up, boy.
I don't know. There's just something funny about that. But
I just shot a couple outside. We're gonna need some patching up.
Yeah, we can take care of that.
see, this is the thing that we already laid out about his character. It's amazing. He's no nonsense. You better watch yourself. But he's also still kind and generous and has a soft spot.
You want to make a sign for him.
Rough job. Gonna cost you
What color you got? Red. 13.
$14.50.
14. All these flowers right here. And we got a deal.
Done.
I love that too, because we see the other side of it. We see him teach the little girl how you negotiate, and then we see the other side when he's actually using it in adult life. He's trying to teach her something that she needs to know.
Hey, I can't thank y'all enough for this. Plays so right. Where'd I get this from anyway?
Yeah, that's Charlie Patton's guitar. Me and my brother wanted off to win a car game.
Lost that.
Again, the different characters. Smoke is no nonsense. Stack is too, but like Stack is sitting here. Stack's more the fast talking, kind of make up whatever you got to get through the moment kind of person.
Traveling.
My favorite part of this whole scene is Michael B. Jordan's reaction. That first moment where he's like, oh my God, that came out of you?
Now this here my patch right here. Now you wasn't in cutting and a young pup to boot. I cut your ass too thin to fry.
And you threaten him again, I'm gonna make your drunk ass swallow that harmonica.
I mean, that was quite a threat, but that was also, you can understand back in these days, if that's how, like the whole way you're making money, another musician shows up on your corner. That's your livelihood right there.
They ain't paying you $20 a night.
You paying $20 maybe tonight. Maybe it's here tonight. Is it here tomorrow night? The week after that? Nah. I've been a messenger every Saturday night for the last 10 years.
Yeah, again, we're getting an education here on what his whole life is. Just trying to keep money in his pocket, food on his table. Someone comes to perform on his corner. He's got to protect that, but also the forethought to be like, I don't care if you're paying more tonight. I have a thing lined up that's working and it's going to be there.
My goodness.
I got 500 more bottles just like that. Ice cold.
And he knew how he would have to sell to him too, so he came ready. He knew that'd get his attention.
Say we pay you $40 a night and all the beer that you can drink. After that, no strings.
I love editing like that, storytelling like that. You don't even have to hear the answer. We just go to a shot of now him performing with Sammy, where he just threatened to cut him a minute ago. Sammy meets Pearline for the first time.
We gonna get funky like a Mississippi.
And we see Mary for the first time.
I'm Preacher Boy.
Hailee.
Pearline.
I'm married, by the way.
Happily.
Sammy is a bit young to be that forward, but, you know, he's having a good day. He's confident.
It's a white woman staring at you.
You sure she white?
Are you sure she white? I don't think he'd mistake that. Are you sure she's staring at you, maybe?
I buried my mama yesterday, Stack. Figured I might see you and smoke there as much as she looked after you both. But I guess y'all love lasted as long as y'all could get something out of her.
You right. That's all she was.
Rotten hell, Stack.
Just more depth. We know why he's saying that. Not yet, but it's amazing to watch these things with the context, knowing what's behind it. I mean, back in those days to have someone say, hey, a white woman is staring at you, that could be the beginning of trouble. I know why he did that, but that was dangerous. Even for him, he could have got shot.
Me and my buddy Rice, we get busted for babies. You get us our instruments back, they tell us to play. They get the bright idea they're gonna take us on the road.
Just using them. Arrested for vagrancy is how it always starts. Using them to make as much money off them as you could. Forcing them to play.
Rice said he was gonna take that money, going out to Little Rock, start him a little church.
I didn't remember that part. I remember what they did to him.
He took out all his money. Clan got a hold to him, found all that money, made up a story about him, and they lynched him right there in the railroad station.
The sound effects, the storytelling, just think about that. Those couple of minutes. A distraught old musician, had a couple of drinks, you figure maybe he's, out of it a little, you don't know why he stood up and did that. And he tells you this whole story, this horrible thing that happened to them, and what happened to his friend who just wanted to leave and go start a church somewhere. Then the Klan finds his friend and makes up a story so they can steal his money and kill him. This scene. I said I haven't watched this again since, but I come back to certain scenes. This is definitely one of them. There's so much in this.
Papa's here.
You start with that, of all things. Just instant.
How you been?
No misery is worth complaining about.
She is so good in this movie. She is just so good in this movie.
Come along.
Yeah, Stack on the other side of town.
Come back forward.
You can just feel it off of both of them immediately. You haven't even said anything really. You can feel the history between them. You can feel the pain there already.
Who you and Stack robbed to get enough money for them crackers to sell you a whole meal?
That's a great answer, or a great non-answer. And she's the first one to say it too. It's like she knows you didn't get that money on the up and up. You had to rob somebody for it.
I'll trade you.
I don't want your money.
Don't be stupid now.
I ain't stupid.
This won't even spend nowhere else. Look
I
at
ain't
it.
going nowhere else. I don't need that cursed money you got.
It's the other thing with her versus anybody else we've seen him interact with too. You can tell just by how she interacts with him how well she knows him already. She knows everything about him.
How you know I ain't prayed and work every route my grandmama taught me to keep you and that crazy brother of yours safe?
I love that. Her performance, but also the sound effects coming in, the blurriness around the frame.
Why those roots ain't work on our baby then?
I don't know.
2 lines. How come that didn't work for our baby then? I don't know.
You still got that mojo bag.
He supposedly doesn't believe, but he's still wearing that she gave him to protect him. Although I suspect it probably has more to do with her than him believing.
It still hurts coming back here. But I love you. And I miss you.
Yeah, some things just don't fade over time. Some pains and some loves just don't go away. This whole thing with them, it's just on a different level. Her reaching down there is the most salacious thing we see there, but it's not about that, you know? It's one of the most intense love scenes you can see, but they don't have to show you a bunch because that's not the point. You feel every moment of that.
Back up. Yeah, I gotta help.
If he was out in the sun, I'm surprised he made it there in one piece. Also, we don't see any fangs, so he must be able to pull them back in. Man, we only see these guys, especially this actor that goes up to the door, for just this scene. But man, he makes an impression. He brings an intensity to this whole thing.
Is he in there with you, ma'am? He's not what he seems. We need to act now.
Hey man, he tried to save you. It almost seems like they have like a vampire hunting force or like some kind of defense against this, where they were actively pursuing him. Let's get a movie on that. You want spin-offs from Sinners.
Bert!
Yeah, Bert's not home anymore. At least not the way you remember.
Oh, he's just resting.
You know, I didn't notice until just now that's a crib. What happened to the baby?
Hey, baby.
Don't cry.
I mean, I should have known that about the fangs because you can't really see their fangs either when they show up to the club later, show up to the juke.
Ma'am, I don't need no ash nothing. Corn liquor will do.
That'll be 50 cents.
Again, just paying attention to the economics here. 50 cents for a drink when there's 25 cents for a breakfast.
Evening.
You look mighty nice. You made it.
Yeah, Pearline showed up. I guess she wasn't that concerned about her husband.
We taking cash, U.S. dollars.
This ain't Chicago smoke.
That old worked his ass off for them wooden nickels.
It is an interesting dynamic. They're trying to get people there to create a client base. So maybe they take some of that initially, but then they stop later on.
You know the twins.
Heard of them, of course. They your cousins? But you seem like such a nice young man.
Don't underestimate Sammy. He showed a lot of courage today.
You gonna play?
You gonna sing?
We'll see where the night takes us.
Only thing that could take Sammy away from Pearline. Trouble, potentially.
We met earlier at the train station.
Wait, you not little Sammy.
He is little Sammy. That's how time works. People get older.
Take care of her, I will. No, I'm gonna handle it. I got it.
This is another one. This moment between them.
And they gonna try to kill you.
What it mattered to you?
Somebody out there put their hands on you. Me and my brother gonna come kill them all.
So you'll kill for me.
Yeah. This is where the act drops. You can't keep up that you don't want her to be around. Can't care about her and not care about her.
I waited. I know you never planned to stay. Why can't you just say that?
Say what? I love you. I think about you every day.
That's the first time he's been honest about it. Everything else has been just a facade to try to push her away. What it really is he does love her.
I just want to keep you someplace safe. And I was never going to be here. And I was never going to be with me.
That whole exchange. But just, he can't reconcile the idea that the life that he lives could kill her.
Supposed to be a bad blues man. Preacher boy, where you at? Come on in.
Now we come to the big scene, which I'm going to apologize in advance for the people on the YouTube edit. I'm going to have to cut out so much of the audio here, and I'm sorry. But I love this scene.
I'm Sammy Moore.
God, this is such an incredible scene.
Something I've been wanting to tell you for a long time.
I've listened to it a few times. I'll probably edit some of that out. You all don't need to listen to me saying on this.
Somebody take me.
It's just indescribable. I'm not going to talk through this. I'm trying to break it up to I can edit in, but still.
It wasn't forced on us like that religion. We brought this with us from home. Sacred.
There's so many little things they do like that set off such an effective kind of emotional and like kind of ethereal moment.
The veil between life and death.
It's just this beautiful creative moment, again, tied to his ancestry and all the rest of this, but like just connected to everything, past, future, all of it. Everybody who's ever created. It's not even trying to create something as much as it's releasing something that's inside of you, which is what every creative person who is able to do that feels like, I think. It's what I feel like when it happens to me. The scene isn't even that long, but it's just so effectively done. All visually, pretty much. All in the scope of the song. All the different references to all these cultures, including their own. The night that Sammy created so beautifully that it burned down the building around him.
We be free.
It's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I do always find it funny that we still got cornbread sitting over where the door is supposed to be. And now this makes so much more sense based on the beginning too. The beacon to the evil showing up. I had totally forgotten that part.
Do they still alive?
Apparently, Sammy impressed Perline.
Hold on. I want to try something.
Sammy heard about this thing from his uncle, and he wants to try it out.
Boy found that button, didn't he? Check out my little cousin.
That is hilarious. We go from him getting in, like, what? It's locked. Well, I can't get in, too. Oh, some people are doing stuff in there. And then she says, preacher boy, and it's like, oh. And look at my little cousin.
Y'all playing?
Sir, no, we believe in equality. We just came here to play. Spend some money, have a good time.
I mean, it is a lot to believe, especially in this area of the country, in this time. I don't blame them at all for not buying this.
Plenty of white barrel houses down there.
How'd she get in?
And that is she here, because she family.
Mm-hmm. She got in because they want her in there, obviously. They don't know you.
We'll be on our way. But we're gonna walk real slow, just in case y'all change your mind.
I'd be suspicious, too. They seem so interested in getting specifically in there. If they wanted to make money, they have much easier time. They went down the road. So that makes you think that's not what it is.
I spill something on 'em. Step on their shoe. Look at they woman a bit too long. We gonna have a bigger problem than just a fight. Don't let them in.
Again, the depth of like how Smoke's mind works. He's always thinking all these steps ahead. He's absolutely right on every one of those. It's all fun and games until something happens and they remember, oh yeah, racism, the South.
Smoke, I feel like I'm flying. Well, today settled it. I'm heading off on my own.
Where you going?
Maybe Chicago.
I didn't remember that. I didn't remember Sammy deciding that he was going to go ahead and go off and pursue his music.
What about them crackers? They'll tell me more than they'll tell you.
And what happens if they from Little Rock?
They ain't.
You know, it's sad because the whole thing happens because Mary was trying to help.
Irish beer, Italian wine. You rob both sides. You're gonna need every dime you can get when they put two and two together.
I didn't remember that. That's dangerous. You rip off two rival mobs, basically, and then hope they never find out who actually ripped them off.
Come tomorrow, I'll find out about you playing in one of these. Boy, I'll kill you myself.
Look, I'm leaving that plantation just like y'all did. And if that's a problem for you, kill me now.
I mean, he is testing him for sure. I don't think he's actually trying to say you're not going to do it. I think he's trying to say, you better be serious. You better be willing to die for this if you really care about it that much. I heard someone talking about this before. They talk about some of the things Remick says about how old he is. That he's basically from Ireland, but like that he's old enough that he's from Ireland before it was Ireland, basically.
What type of money is
The
this?
solid gold kind, darling. But it's no good to you, because you're in some deep, deep pain that money can't fix.
Yeah, I heard some parallels here. People talking about this. The invasion of religion into culture.
I would like to have saved your mother from her fate. I can still save you from yours.
Yeah, the language here is really religious in nature. And the eyes are glowing. And he's drooling.
Ooh.
I'm gonna head back now, and I think y'all should too. Back to wherever y'all came from.
I wish she had made it. She should have walked backwards or something, kept her eyes on him. I don't know if that would have helped, but yeah, so there's definitely parallels here in their way they speak and how they're representing themselves. As like, you know, again, the invasion of religion into culture here.
Man, what you done out here?
You gonna let me in?
Oh, man.
I find it interesting that of all the vampire stuff they kept for this, they kept the having to be invited in. Also, Perline's tearing it up on stage up there.
Do something. Oh.
She is coming on a little strong.
So you rob trains and banks, but you can't steal this for a night.
She's coming on awful strong, but they're using her mind. She knows how to play him. Poor cornbread. They got him while he was taking a leak. He didn't bother anybody. Again, all this fellowship of love stuff. It is this thing of like, okay, they got to her and she's one of them now. Now she just wants to spread it to everybody she can. You know what I mean? Man, let's not look past the fact that Perline's up here bringing down the house. I didn't remember we stayed on her so long. I remembered this. I remembered her singing, but I didn't remember that she got such a performance. This is great.
Won't get my brother.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think your brother's home anymore. As painful as that is to say.
Playing around
Yeah, it's a little more than just not being decent.
It's not what it looks like.
He doesn't know what it looks like yet, but it's exactly what it looks like. Just instant. He sees his brother bleeding. It doesn't matter who it was.
You're gonna kill every last one of you.
That was the trailer shot right there of her.
No, hold on. Stay.
That's hard.
Let's go. Still.
This makes it even harder. How visceral this scene is. His brother is dying in his arms, and there's nothing he can do. They go through that.
I'm so sorry.
Look at him. He doesn't even know how to process it. How could you?
Party's over, y'all. No. Y'all got to go.
Thank you.
It's sad. He doesn't know that he's basically feeding them to the wolves. He's sending them to leave. They better get in their cars quick.
I could have stopped it.
Don't do that.
Thought they was making love.
Oh, that was Sammy saying it. I thought it was Smoke saying it for a second.
You shot her, and she kept running like nothing happened. This a Hank we dealing with, Smoke, or worse.
This ain't no dead body. It's staying here with me.
Your partner in life since you were born, and he just died in your arms. Just break you to your core, you know? Even her trying to get him to understand, he's beyond it right now.
Best thing about me is him.
That's one of the things that's so important about this. You have to have the emotional punch of that for it to mean as much as it does.
Let's go home.
Yeah.
Who get the car?
I'll get the car.
And even she, not knowing, sent her husband out to his fate too.
Watch over him.
That's what makes it so hard when he comes back. You go through the pain of that, and then all of a sudden he's alive again, maybe, somehow, but not really.
Stack D, I'm sorry. All right, well, let me in so I can help.
No one's keeping you from coming in. That's your biggest problem there.
Probably your fish sandwich messed up my guts using old stale grease.
I ain't never used stale grease, and you know.
Even in the midst of what's going on, she's not going to take an insult about her food.
Admit to it.
Admit to what?
That you dead. That one of them white folks out there killed you and you a Hank.
She needs this because she needs him to understand. Because he couldn't listen to her about Stack. He couldn't.
We out here playing games, telling ghost stories in place of doing what we ought to do. Being kind to one another.
Okay. You're going further off the rails here. Just looking more odd all the time.
You've been in and out of here all day. Ain't never need an invite then. Something ain't adding up.
Yeah, he's starting to get it. You know, this actually appeals back into an important part of Smoke's mind. He's always the one paying attention to details.
Can I at least get my money?
Careful.
Ooh, I forgot he shot him. That's how Cornbread ends up with that thing. Yeah, get back inside. Get back inside, Smoke. He was fast.
Is someone in there?
Ooh, and that's not Stack anymore.
Smoke, go on ahead. Open up this door, let me on out of here.
Yeah, he knows. He's got your blood on him. You died in his arms. You don't forget something like that.
Stay. Well, you lost a lot of blood. It was scary, and I'm doing much better now.
Apparently, these vampires don't heal up, or at least not real quick. Maybe they gotta feed.
Smoke. That ain't your brother.
Smoke, what that witch out there talking about? You gonna let her get in between us again?
It's so good because it puts him in this impossible situation of wanting to believe that he's okay, but knowing that she's right.
Huh? Open the door, Smoke!
Impossible situation.
Please, Smoke, let me out of this room. Smoke, please.
He's playing off anything he can. Play off his emotions.
Stack.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't be too close to that door. He's tried to stab through it before. Ooh. I didn't remember that part. What'd she throw on him? Whatever it was, she had it just in the nick of time.
What's in the jar?
Pickle garlic. These ain't hate. They vampires.
All right, so we got the thing about need to be invited in, and the garlic thing.
They have a connection, but they live on, even if the one that made them is killed.
That comes back later. I forgot how they used that, but that came back later, obviously.
You don't worry about a thing, yeah? Devil done came for me plenty of times. You don't have to go through his old friend Delta Slam before we get to you.
That's very sweet. He met Sammy, he threatened to cut him if he didn't get off his corner. And then he says something like that. That's very sweet.
Promise me that you'll free me before I turn.
She ain't free you.
I got somebody on the other side waiting for me. They waiting on you too.
We talking about From Dusk Till Dawn. That is a similarity there. The thing where you say, you know, if I turn, kill me.
Come on. You don't hear that?
Whether you hear it or not, you got to get back inside. I mean, at least they're not coming for you at the moment. Yeah, their congregation has grown some. I don't think very many of your people made it home. The funny thing, first time I watched this movie and I heard this song, immediately went back to Sherlock Holmes. It's the only other time I've heard this song. Again, even this right here, this looks like people at church, like, you know, a congregation, like really, like kind of into the sermon.
Y'all gonna eat this clover garlic.
I forgot this part.
I don't much like the taste of it.
Ain't no one saying you gotta like it. We just gotta figure out if any of us left is one of them.
Yeah, they're trying to, this is about proving it. So this is not the time to be picky.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, Pearline, this is not the time to refuse.
Slim, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I don't think he's a vampire. I think it's just, he's freaking him the hell out though.
I drank too much. I'm fine.
Scared the shit out of him.
You sure that was blood?
Oh, they sacrificed him. They didn't know it.
Whatever you need, man. Smoke. Some weird going on out here.
I'm surprised he stayed alive that long without getting bit already.
Come on outside, I got the car started. Let's go.
Yeah, she knows he's already one of them.
I know about cornbread. You're just a little hungry, that's all.
You know, you would have figured they'd be better at like acting, like freaked out or something if they want to lure him out there.
Head home?
And the eyes come in.
Don't listen to him.
Grace, we're gonna find a way out of this, I promise.
This is interesting too. It's all these people's most important people in their lives being used against them, not just random people.
This world already left you for dead. Won't let you build. Won't let you fellowship. We will do just that. Together. Forever.
This is the hard sell where they actually make as close as they come to a good point. It's like, hey, the world's not going to be fair to you, but we will be. But also glossing past the fact that you're going to surrender everything you are to us.
Or we going to go to the grocery store. We going to pay little Lisa a visit. No.
Also doesn't help that he immediately goes directly into threats, threatening to kill their daughter.
You can't save him, Smoke, no more than you could save your brother.
Yeah, that's quite a note to hit. The place that's the most painful for him.
This wasn't no juke joint. This here is a slaughterhouse.
Why can't y'all just go?
So we're not leaving without y'all. After we kill y'all, we're gonna have heaven right here on earth.
That's the part I remember from the first one. Because we're not leaving without y'all. Like through turning them into vampires, they're trying to save them. Like you get saved by religion.
We was never gonna be free. We've been running around everywhere looking for freedom.
He knows exactly how to get into his head. Wow.
And I ain't doing this without you. There is no me without you.
To create this whole moment, all him. I mean, his stand-in is there too, but...
Close the door.
That's incredible. That was all Michael B. Jordan right there.
No vision.
That was the argument, though. Like, hey, this is ultimate freedom from all of the racism and prejudice and horrible things in which there are ways people aren't going to give you a fair shot in this world. We're just going to take it.
Didn't you just shoot 2 men for touching your truck? They killed your brother. If now ain't go time, then I don't know what is.
We're going to look past the fact that go time probably wasn't a phrase in the 30s. But, you know, she's on a roll. I mean, really all they got to do is stay in there until sun comes up. But they're going to sit there and psychologically torture them all night until the sun comes up. Yeah, ironically, she's the reason that so many of them are going to die, because she's not going to be able to hold it together. Yeah, that's all she's thinking about. Oh, I forgot she invites them in. She gave away their only refuge. Well, that went badly right off the bat. I mean, they went together, but man, what a horrible way to go. It's amazing that any of them survived this. Stack took Annie from him.
Everything gonna be alright now.
He did it on purpose too, because he knew that was one of the only ways he might be able to get smoke on his side. They all know it.
I see you soon. I love you.
Smoke has been through a lot tonight. He's been through a lot. He's lost everyone.
Last call, go to sleep.
He tried to save him. They still found their way in up there anyway.
Hailee!
Yeah, it's too late.
Keep running! Make it to sunrise!
Ooh. I mean, you don't really have a choice at that point. And there's the scar.
Which art in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
We see Remick go back to his former self.
The man who stole my father's land forced these words upon us.
I mean, Sammy doesn't have a lot of defense right now. He's doing anything he can to stall, waiting for the sun to come up. Hey, Annie did protect him. I didn't remember that part. Her charms worked.
We are earth and beast and God. We are woman and man. We are connected.
Again, you don't usually see vampirism with this kind of dogma, you know? It's an interesting take on it. You already see Perline down there among them. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think that's how that guitar was intended to be used, but it worked.
We will make beautiful music together.
Too late. It should have been a clue that we didn't see him kill Stack, but that means that Stack and Mary were willing to run off on the rest of them. Doesn't take long once the sun's up. Taking a little longer for him because maybe he's more powerful. Probably hard to believe that after however long he's been alive that it's finally over.
Go on and bury that guitar.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't.
I didn't know he said it.
It's Charlie Page.
Boy, told you that. Stack. That's our daddy guitar.
He wanted to give him a story, you know? Impressive story about where his guitar come from.
I got some business to handle. Strong.
He's got nothing left. He lost his brother. He lost his... I don't even know if she was his wife anymore. The woman he loves, mother of his children, his child. And he finds out that these guys were always going to come after him, the clan. So, can't let that stand. I love it when they do storytelling this way, when they're showing you what people are thinking. No talking about it, there's no words necessary. You just show things that are running through the person's head. Everything they had, how wonderful everything was. And then it was all taken. It's all gone. symbolic. He doesn't want any more protection. He put his dog tags back on.
Plane don't exist no more.
This is all he needs right after everything they've been through. They kill a bunch of vampires, now he needs a gunfight.
Grand opening, grand closing.
It's time for Smoke to get some justice.
Door's locked. Try the front.
This one is too.
It also shows you, we've alluded to him being a soldier, it also shows you that he was probably a pretty damn good soldier. I mean, these guys are amateurs, but this is like 20 guys at least. Yeah, they didn't stand much of a chance. Ooh. Yeah, at the end of it, it's just someone got off a lucky shot. Yeah, you don't seem so confident now, do you?
Put it down. In the name of God. My heart. My voice.
Yeah. Whatever Sammy's been through, he knows who he is. You can't get him to turn his back on that.
You got a cigarette?
You go to hell.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to deny someone a cigarette when they have a gun pointed at you. In fact, your only way to survive this is if he finishes that cigarette. But luckily, he won't.
Elijah, you put that cig out, you can hold her.
It's a beautiful moment. They can maybe finally be together.
Listen, I got money, huh?
It is really, really, really the wrong moment to talk. Bye-bye. Yeah, you deserved every one of those and more. That's the thing about this story, too. We don't even know what happened. We don't know if she died in childbirth. We don't know if they even ever got to hold her. How much different their life might have been if they'd been able to raise their child and have a family. Yeah, I guess I always thought this shot was still him headed to the church, but it's him leaving. That makes so much more sense. And then we come to what is probably one of the most effective, beautiful mid-credit scenes I think I've ever seen. And the reveal that they survived it. They're the only ones who survived it outside of Sammy.
But they live on, even if the one that made them is killed.
I'll have whatever the old man had.
Stack is really selling the 1992, isn't he? Very much on brand for the clothing of the time. Yeah, you might want to go take a break, bartender.
Oh. I guess I was one person he just couldn't kill. He made me promise to stay away from you. Let you live out your life.
Surprising for him to have that kind of forethought, but it was Smoke we were talking about. In the end, neither Smoke nor Sammy could give up the thing they were holding on to.
Keep living. No pain.
I think I've seen enough of this place.
Sammy couldn't bury the guitar, and he couldn't kill Stack.
I miss the real. How about it, Sammy? You still got the real in you.
And that's one of the most impressive things. I guess he'd had to do well for himself, too, because it probably cost some money to either find another one of those or to rebuild it. Right here.
I don't know why.
Takes them both all the way back to that first moment he heard him sing. Just older cousin and his younger cousin driving in a car together. Beautiful day. The multi-finger rings. Yep, Stack's making a statement.
Take care, little Sammy.
Such a weird dynamic, because obviously he looks older than them.
Before the sun went down, that was the best day of my life.
Last time I seen my brother, last time I seen the sun, just for a few hours, it was free.
Yeah, it's a beautiful moment, especially for them to be able to share that again after all these years. It had to be close to 60 years by then. It was the 30s, I can't remember exactly when, but... There we go, folks. We have watched Sinners together. Let's go to the wrap-up. Well, forgive me. I went ahead and skipped past the little post-credit scene I know is there at the very end of Sammy playing in the church. I would have had to mute that on the YouTube edit anyway. But what can you say about Sinners? I hope they win everything. I mean, if you're seeing this after the The Oscars, you know if they did or not. I know they're probably not going to win as much as I want them to, but hopefully they'll win some good stuff. I just remember this being one of these situations. I haven't got a chance to go to the theater a lot lately, and we finally got to go to the theater, my wife and I, and I just remember thinking this movie looked good, but not really knowing much about what it was about, and just being kind of knocked over. I knew it was a vampire movie, but it just, as I said at the beginning of this, it's just so much more than that. It goes to so many different places and does so many different things and does them so well. There's not really a false note in this movie anywhere. There's not like really kind of like an eye-rolling moment in this movie of like, oh, okay, whatever. And that's the thing. It's not purely a vampire movie. It really isn't. It's more of a drama in which a vampire story happens. It really has more to do with these characters and their lives and the world it sets up and what all these people mean to each other. And then have a vampire story happen in the middle of that. Even the way it ends, I mean, it's because they're vampires that Sammy gets to see Stack and Mary again. But it was also this kind of coming-of-age tale for Sammy where he is coming to terms with who he really is and being pushed and pulled in different directions about who he should be and people trying to tell him who he needs to be. Mainly his father. Again, I come back to one of my main points about his father. We don't see his father much. Like, we see his father at the beginning part, that then we shoot back in time, but like after Sammy's covered in blood and all that kind of stuff, then we go back and see him and wanting Sammy to do the sermon and Smoke and Stack picking him up. And then when Sammy comes back again, that's all we see of his father. But again, one of the key things in there missing from his father is your son walks into your church, he's covered in blood, he's obviously injured. And your first instinct isn't to be like, oh, this is my son and he needs help. Your first instinct is to, how can I turn this to my son embracing the Lord? And it's like, that tells you, like, without having to see his father a whole bunch, that tells you a decent amount about his father right there. But also just everything else at work in this movie. The parallels, very clear parallels with the group of vampires of this, love and fellowship thing. And like, I would say trying to get people into a cult, but more just like a religion. Like, hey, we're going to have our own religion. And like this hard sell of like, hey, you live in a world that is never going to be fair to you, ever. It's never going to let you keep anything you earn. It's never going to treat you fairly as a person. Come be one of us, and we'll just take it. You will be more powerful than you ever have been in a way that they can't take away from you. Where, I mean, technically they could, but basically that's the sell of it. And even at the point where they are legitimately upset when Smoke kills Annie as he promised he would. Like, there's a different thing in here in that in most vampire movies, you have vampires that are after blood because of their hunger for blood. In this, you don't see as much of that. You see a little bit of it, but like you mostly see it's like, hey, we want you in our group. We want you to be one of us, like among us, all of this stuff. And all of the people that they kill turn into vampires. So it's about growing their numbers more than just about getting blood. You see vampires represented in other stories. They're not turning a bunch of people. Like, you have vampires in other stories where they get to choose who they turn. Most of the people that they drink from, they're just like drinking because of their need for blood. They're not going to turn them. They only turn one every once in a while. But you do have stuff like this, other stories like this, where it's like anybody who gets bitten as an opportunity, like, it can basically be turned. But yeah, it really didn't seem about, again, blood and this kind of hunger for blood as much as it seemed like, hey, we want to continue to grow our numbers and become this kind of like force. It's like, what was their plan if everything had worked out? Remek's going to kind of restart a congregation, for lack of a better term, or a coven. He's going to turn all these people. And then, like he said, they're going to go into town the next day and turn everyone else. And just this idea, kind of different from what you see of vampires in general. It's more like, hey, we want to turn the world into vampires, as opposed to kind of hiding in the shadows, or like, trying to not bring too much attention to themselves and only go to like drink if they need blood. I mean, not that they're like zombies as far as like kind of being mindless and all that, but more in that vein too, of like the goal just being to spread as much as possible. Man, there were so many wonderful things that sold this film, that sold the groundedness and the reality of this film. And it was all the relationships. It was Sammy and his relationship with his dad, his relationship with his two cousins, even the little bit of a relationship he got to have with Pearline. Not that a relationship really formed there, but beginnings of something. It's obviously stayed with him. He named the club after her. The very real history that you could feel between Smoke and Annie and Stack and Mary. Again, only off of a couple little interactions, but man, they hit them just right. And you felt that deep. You could tell how deep those things went with them. And just the whole building of the world. Like, we spend all of this time before we ever get into anything to do with vampires, just constructing the realities of this time and place they live in, to the point that you feel it. You feel the reality of it. It was just so well done. And that was one of the parts I didn't understand about Sammy when we got to Sammy when he was older. I guess I didn't pay close enough attention to that. I thought Sammy was just like a touring musician, and like this was just another gig that he was playing, and they caught up with him to come and see him and have this conversation. But that was Sammy's place. It was named Perline's. You looked on the chair he was sitting, it said Sammy Moore. He had a bunch of old posters from old concerts he had played and things like that said Sammy Moore on them. So Sammy ended up doing pretty well for himself. But it was also this thing again of, it was ironic for Stack to tell him that he needed to bury the guitar, or not Stack, Smoke. Smoke was trying to protect him. But one thing that came out of there that was unshakable was from the moment he played, that whole musical sequence, which was, again, just incredible, absolutely incredible. Sammy knew who he was, for sure. But Smoke saying that, I mean, Smoke let Stack go. He couldn't do what he was supposedly supposed to do there either. But that musical sequence has got to be one of the best, if not the best, I think I've ever seen. Again, all of these ties to past, future, ancestry, all this kind of stuff. But there was also just another element to it for me the first time I saw it too, and every time I've watched that scene. Just kind of the creative flow state. I mean, I know there is specific ties to the ancestry here, and they make obviously specific references to that. It's a big part of it. But there's also an element to that feels just like this creative flow state too, of like being connected on a creative level, aside from even just an ancestry level, to just all of these things that have come before and after you. You just feel connected to something bigger than you, that other people have connected to in the past and other people will connect to in the future. There's one kind of point at which you can all exist together. And adding the tie in this to the history of his people, to the future of his people, all of it. It's almost hard to describe as a scene how beautiful and amazing it was. So I've rattled on about this for far too long already. I could probably rattle on about it for a lot longer. I love Sinners as a movie, and I really hope they do well at the Oscars. Whether they do or not, it's still a great movie either way. And I appreciate you being here to watch it with me. Real quick before we get out of here, I want to remind you to go ahead and check out the Patreon. The full-length reaction to this movie is available over on the Patreon right now. There's other full-length reactions to movies over there, exclusive television show reactions, all kinds of other stuff. I hope you go check it out and consider becoming a patron. Any support that you offer over there or over here is always greatly appreciated. And speaking of over here, if you'd be so kind as to go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, click the bell so you can see when I'm putting out new videos. And also a special thank you to my Seen Everything patrons, Aunt Vess and Stevie. Thank you so much for your support. That is it for me, folks. I appreciate you watching this one with me, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.